Ladies and gentlemen, Oklahoma fight fans, are you ready for freestyle cage fighting? This is Eric Dean, the voice of FCF, here with Tom Jones, a staple of Oklahoma MMA.
Hello.
We're going to be watching the replay of FCF 45 from the Fire Lake Grand in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Attention 80s rock fans, American Music Award winner Rick Springfield will be rocking the house at Fire Lake Grand Saturday, March 26th. Call 405-964-7777 or visit firelakegrand.com. Before we get to the main card, we're going to show you some highlights from the undercard. First up, Alex Hand versus Jason Heath. This was actually a great fight. This got the amateur fight of the night. It was a back-and-forth battle between two evenly matched opponents.
Looks like they're swinging both hands. There's not a whole lot of defense going on, but there's a lot of offense.
And one thing we look for when we pick the amateur fight of the night is A, we don't want it to end too quickly. We like to see a fight go 3 rounds or at least 2 rounds of solid action, and we like to see it come to a decision. Unless one guy can finish the other decisively in the end of the 3rd round, it's really nice to see 2 guys battle it out for 3 rounds and then leave it up to the judge.
It looks like they're battling out. Look at them now. They're swinging. They're going for broke. Looks like both of them are trying to finish the fight. Look at that. Good shot.
Neither one of these guys gave an inch the entire fight. Both guys were pushing the other back with strikes, and neither guy seemed willing to back up at all.
They're both swinging. That's what I like to see right there. Both parties swinging. This looks like it might be the end of the fight coming up here.
And that was Alex Hand by unanimous decision.
Alex Hand!
Next up is Sean Brake versus Stephen Cloud. Now, Sean Brake has fought for FCF a couple times before. I believe Stephen Cloud has as well. But Sean has definitely made a name for himself. He always comes out with a huge contingent, and he always pleases the crowd. This kid is extremely tough. He's small for his weight size, or for his weight division, but I believe he has won every fight he's had in the FCF so far.
Looks like he came out guns blazing in this one, just like his previous fights. There's a good knee to the side. His opponent has to roll over to give up that position.
It looks like Stephen just can't deal with Sean's wrestling. Sean's just able to move him around wherever he wants him and unload the ground and pound. And the winner via decision, Sean Brake. Lastly, we have Devin Griffith versus E.A. Boyd. And I don't believe this fight goes on too long.
Oh, it looked like just then Griffith took a good knee to the chin, but kept standing.
Devin Griffith is beating him to the punch. Now he's got Mount unloading on him. I think this is the end of the fight. Yep.
Yeah, he just looked overwhelmed there.
Devin Griffith by TKO from strikes, 1 minute and 7 seconds into the 2nd round. Next up, in the 125-pound female division, we have Sarah Malloy versus Charlene Smith.
In the blue corner, standing 5'2", weighing 118 pounds, fighting out of Starker's Gym. From Detroit, Michigan, Charlene Smith.
Charlene Smith trains under Cedric Marks. She was a state champion wrestler in Chicago, and she is Army combatives trained.
Red corner, standing 5'5", weighing 125 pounds, fighting out of BodyTech MMA. From Ada, Oklahoma, Sarah Malloy.
Sarah Malloy from Ada, Oklahoma, has a wrestling background. She's trained in MMA for 4 years, and she's a mother of 3. I don't know much about either one of these fighters, but right off the gate, based on the way they're dressed, it looks like Charlene Smith prefers the striking.
Yeah, she looks like she came out with the boxing/Muay Thai shorts on, but charged right in on her, though.
Went for a pretty sloppy takedown, though, with the headlock.
Yeah, looks like they're in a scramble for position at this point for control. I really don't see anyone has control yet.
Sarah's got a closed guard now, and Charlene is looking for an opening to throw some strikes. It looks like Charlene definitely knows the fundamentals, but she maybe hasn't practiced them enough. They seem a little forced.
Oh, it looks like she got reversed right there. Look, her balance was a little bit off.
Oh, some good shots to the sides of the head by Sarah Malloy.
Oh, she backs up and they're standing up. Some big haymaker-looking shots there.
And back to the headlock. That's a surprise. And she runs her right into the gate.
And that's the thing about fighting in these cages versus fighting in a ring or so. You always have that cage there to stop you, so you can take those charging takedowns and sometimes just to bounce off the cage just to get your opponent down.
Looks like Sarah's going for a takedown now. Neither one seems to be able to get the takedown too easily on the other, though.
Yeah, this has been going at a pretty good pace ever since the fight started. Looks like they're using a lot of energy early in this fight. We'll see how that plays out if it goes later in the fight.
I would almost think it's about time to bring him off the cage at this point. I think Sarah maybe, she looks like she's going for a takedown, but at the same time, she looks like there she goes. Picks it up and puts it down.
She does seem like her wrestling, her actual wrestling balance is a little bit better.
Than Charlene, you mean?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Going for side control. She may try to pass the knee across, or she looks, maybe she's throwing knees on the far side. I can't see. And over she goes. Now, does she have a double underhook? It appears so.
It does look like Smith is tying her hands up pretty good. Oh, she gets her hands free now. We'll see if she does any damage or if she tries to go for a submission at this point. A lot of times when you get the full mount, the submissions aren't as wide open as sometimes the strikes would be. That's why a lot of times you see a lot of striking from the full mount position. It's like she's trying to pin her arm down with her left knee.
Charlene tries to reverse, and I think she just gave Sarah her back, if Sarah can get a hook in.
Looks like she's still holding on to an arm.
Got one hook. She's going for an arm bar on Charlene's right arm.
She's got the arm bar. Looks like she's trying to extend it.
I don't know if she's got the angle. Nope.
Nope, she's out.
Charlene probably going to look to drop some bombs now that she's on her feet.
Yeah, Smith's on top, punching.
And that's the end of the round. It's a replay of the takedown. She really struggled. I think it took her about a minute to get to that takedown, but once they were down, they didn't get back up. Round 2 starts off with some striking. Charlene just kind of flinging them out there.
And they go down with Smith on top. Trying to throw some big punches again.
Looks like she's getting some good punches in there. She landed a lot of rights, and now she's getting some lefts. These may not be doing a lot of damage, but they're certainly scoring on the judges' cards.
Definitely keeping her in range where she's able to hit her on the bottom. She's not utilizing her guard to either. Oh, she's going for the armbar.
Sarah's got an interesting variation in armbar here, but I don't think she's going to be able to get far enough up the arm.
Up way too high for that one. And a kick from the bottom. And another kick from the bottom.
Some nice up kicks. Charlene in half guard now. Now, I don't think Charlene's going to be able to pass Sarah's guard based on what I've seen so far.
Yeah, she seems content to sit within the guard and throw punches, and she was landing some good punches, but I really haven't seen her put forth any effort to pass the guard at this point.
And at the same time, I don't see Sarah really doing anything from the guard.
Looks like we had a couple of armbar attempts that really weren't close to being successful, but really that's been it.
And she doesn't seem to be looking for a sweep now. She may be just trying to hold Charlene close so she can't score with some more punches. Now, oh, here we go, a triangle choke attempt. But she's kind of taking her time with it.
Smith immediately set up during that triangle attempt, changing the angle, make it real hard to do a triangle and armbar. As you can see here, she stands up to slam her.
And looks like she let the triangle go. Her left arm, nope, she lost the leg too. I thought maybe she was going to spin for a knee bar. Back in the guard.
Yeah, it looks like the fight's starting to slow down at this point. We're starting to get to the end of the second round, and I think that pace is starting to take the toll. And she goes
Sarah
for an
armbar again. And that's it.
She gets her.
She was just waiting patiently. At times, I wasn't really sure what Sarah's motivation was in the guard, but it looks like she was just waiting for the right moment to throw another armbar. Congratulations. Sarah Malloy over Charlene Smith by armbar.
Freestyle cage fighting returns to Fire Lake Grand on Saturday, April 9th, featuring Oklahoma's own Matt Grice and Strikeforce top contender Aaron Tohill. For tickets, call 405-964-7777 or visit firelakegrand.com.
Our main event, Jason Norwood defending his 185-pound title against the Ultimate Fighter veteran, Josh Bryant.
In the blue corner, stand 5'10", weighing 186 pounds, fighting out of Absolute Combat Alliance and Extreme Gym. From Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Ultimate Fighter veteran, Josh the Beast Bryant.
Here's Josh Bryant, the Ultimate Fighter veteran. He won his first 9 fights with FCF, comes into this fight at 10-1.
In the red corner, standing 5'10", weighing in at 184 pounds, fighting out of Fort Sill Fight House. From Lawton, Oklahoma, the current 185-pound champion, G.I. Jason Norwood.
The champ, Jason Norwood, also comes into this fight at 10-1 and fresh off a stint in Iraq.
Fighters to the center of the ring.
All right, looks like we're ready to go here.
All right, guys, the main event. Expect a good, clean fight. No fouls, touch gloves, be warriors.
Now, I know both of these guys are wrestlers. Not a lot of people get to see Josh Bryant's wrestling because not many of his opponents make it past his hands. But Josh is actually a pretty accomplished wrestler, right, Tom?
Oh, most definitely. And both these guys, you see, we go right straight to the wrestling. Both of them are fairly well-rounded fighters, but both of them have wrestling backgrounds. And I really think this is going to end up being a wrestler versus wrestler type fight. So we'll have to see how this plays out as they go right straight to the fence and start the wrestling.
I'm surprised Josh is really the first person I've seen able to resist Jason Norwood's takedown. So that really does say a lot about his wrestling.
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, both of them have wrestling pedigree. I think this is going to end up being a wrestling match.
It looks like Josh may also... Yep, he's looking for the Kimura. Gets a takedown with the Kimura and ends up in side control.
It's like Norwood actually had to flip end over end just to relieve that pressure on his shoulder. Now he's on his back. And I really think that's going to be the determination of this fight. Both of these guys, like I said, they'll stand up, they'll do submissions, but both of them do well when they're on top and out wrestling the guy. That's when both of them do well. So we'll see how this fight plays out.
Now, we've seen a lot of Josh Bryant dominating opponents with ground and pound, but he's also got quite a bit of submission skill.
Oh, most definitely. He has fought and finished a few guys with submission. He's got good chokes, good arm bars. He's really good with chokes, so that's kind of his bread and butter is take you down, ground and pound, and choke you.
Now, it looks like he's actually keeping Jason Norwood down pretty effectively here.
Norwood looks like he's using, he's using his energy well, and he's trying to use that fence to get up. He's not laying on his back. He's being active. There's a lot of energy being expended by both fighters here.
Josh is starting grinding the short elbow on Norwood. Oh, a good couple short elbows there, right to the eye.
Looks like Norwood's got that underhook on the far side, and he's trying to use that to get up.
I think there's already a cut over Jason Norwood's right eye. Josh cut him with one of those first 2 elbows.
Doesn't take much on the elbow. A slight tip of the elbow and it will cut you.
Josh pins the arm. Jason is really putting everything he's got into getting up out of this. And immediately gets taken back down.
There's a lot of wrestling technique going on right now. A lot of energy being expended. Now he's got him down in what we like to call a top crucifix position, where the bottom guy has both of his arms pinned. He's eating some good elbows to the eye from Josh.
Oh, very Gary Goodridge style. Now, what can Jason do here to get out of this position?
You know, the only thing that we call it the top crucifix position, because you're almost like in a T. He has to change the angle that they're at. He has to run their feet the same directions to change the angle that he's at.
Looks like Josh may be going for a head and arm choke here. If he can hop over to Jason Norwood's left side, he'll have it in. And here he goes, going for the...
Oh, and Jason got his arm out of it and works for the... And Jason gets to stand up, pushes Josh against the fence.
Now they switch places. We'll get to see Norwood see if he can take Josh down.
I haven't seen a lot of Norwood from his back. He's been on his back most of this fight, but I am impressed with the amount of energy that he expended trying to get up, which I kind of figured both of these fighters would spend more energy trying to get up off their back rather than doing their submissions from their back just because of the wrestling background.
Well, if there's one thing that I have no doubt about, it's definitely Jason Norwood's strength and endurance. I've seen this guy lift people off the ground multiple times per fight, and never once does he seem to get tired.
Oh, I concur with that. If there's one thing you can't say about Jason Norwood is that he doesn't come to fight in shape. Every fight I've seen him in, he's in shape and fights the entire fight.
Norwood has a nice mouse next to his left eye, so he's got a mouse on the left eye and a cut on the right.
It looks like Josh has him up, picks him down, and slams him hard.
Now, it is very early in the fight for Norwood to be getting cut, so is that going to come into play now? Because he's still got a lot of time for Josh to mash on those cuts.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of it depends on where the cuts are at, too, you know, and how a person's blood clotting ability is. But right now, it doesn't look like it's bothering his eyesight, and he gets back up again.
Josh is continually looking for that Kimura. I think he really wants to throw that again.
But Jason is doing a very good job of getting up off his back. Very good. Truth be told, not a lot of guys get up off their back once Josh gets on top of him.
Saw Jason throwing some knees to Josh's thighs, maybe weaken his takedowns a bit.
Possibly. I think in that short distance, it's you throw anything you have at that point. Looks like we're coming to the end of the round.
And that's the end of round one. Another look at that great takedown. And there, Josh opening that cut with those two elbows.
See a close up of the head. Looks like it's pretty high on the head. I don't think that's going to affect it. And the big takedown and the slam.
What do you think? Round one goes to Josh?
Most definitely just over control alone. But, you know, looks like both fighters look fresh. Neither one of them looks tired after all that energy expenditure. This is going to be a good fight.
Good lead left hook to start off the round. Josh lands a good left hook, right uppercut combination. Now they're in the clinch.
And Jason is being very aggressive. This is his title. He doesn't want to lose it, and he's being very aggressive.
Now, I've never gotten much of a chance to see Jason take a punch. He usually takes his opponents down and controls them before he can get hit. So I'm interested to see how well he can take a shot, because Josh, as you know, has a lot of knockout power.
Yes, he has. And he does have a knockout on his record. He has put people to sleep in fights before.
Some more knees to the thighs.
He got in deep on Josh, but Josh is doing good of reaching across, getting a hold of his tricep and pulling him up off his hips. He's taken away Jason's takedown so far. We'll see. Jason goes down low again. Josh is reaching across for the arm just like the first round. He's behind him. We'll see.
There's a lot of dense technique, just like you said. Both of these guys are solid wrestlers. You can really see a difference between watching these two compete versus, you know, a lot of fighters competing. You can see that they're maybe off balance once in a while. They don't really resist when they should, but these guys seem to have the reaction time just far above any of their peers.
Most definitely. It looks like now Josh is pushing. You know, these guys in the gym have been in these positions and fought these takedowns and tried doing takedowns countless number of hours. I know at the Army Combatives, where Jason trains at, those guys, day in and day out, he has tons of guys to train with in these same positions over and over and over. So that's how these guys get good.
Oh, Josh, nope.
Looks like he had full mount, and Jason got at least kind of a half guard out of it.
Yeah, Jason really doesn't look too concerned with closing his legs around that half guard.
No, he really doesn't. Again, I think both of these fighters, when put on their back, would be more concerned with getting up off their back than they really would be about finishing the fight from their back.
Some more tight elbows from Josh there. It looks like Josh does a really good job of just grinding from the top. I mean, really just wearing his opponents down, constantly just squeezing and pushing and pulling, and tight, short little elbows. He just doesn't give him a chance to rest. Jason with a good body headshot there.
At this point, we're halfway through the second round. Norwood's going to have to do more than what he's doing if he's going to win this fight at this point.
And Josh goes for the Kimura again, but loses it.
Looks like Jason's trying to grab the leg to come up out the side again. There he goes. He's up to his knees. And Norwood gets up yet again. This is an awesome battle here. This is a battle of two very good wrestlers. This is a good fight right here. And at this point, I mean, this fight could still go either way at this point.
Norwood landed a couple good body shots there. One thing I see both fighters doing that I really like is they're not taking their head for granted. Both fighters are pressing the tops of their head into the other fighter's head whenever they're in a clinch.
Exactly. You see, as Jason's doing it now, he's putting it underneath Josh's chin, trying to stand him up, trying to offset his balance, offset his posture up against that fence. Josh is really reaching around for that arm again every time he goes for that single leg takedown.
Oh, Norwood's got the back. Let's see if he can get a takedown out of it.
I think at this point, if Jason could at least score one good takedown, it would help his confidence a lot.
And back to the knees to the thigh. Now it looks like Norwood is actually bleeding. I'm seeing some drops of blood on the ground and on Josh's left foot. So I think that cut may be increasing. Then again, it could be Norwood's heart rate that's up.
Yes, that's very true. The heart rate a lot of times will make you bleed more. Right there in a pummel position, fighting for inside control. A knee from Norwood. Josh pulls
nice.
a leg out from underneath him. Nice low single leg at the end of the round as Josh
some nice
stands
hard
up.
shots.
Oh,
he's
these are
getting
some
both.
big shots from Josh.
Jason is not even defending. Josh is landing at will. And that's it.
Wow, good finish to the round.
Definitely. That's 2 rounds for Josh, without a doubt.
Yeah, I would have to say so. I think at this point, Jason needs a big takedown.
Now he's got to finish the fight. That's the only way.
It doesn't look like either one of these fighters really want to stand in the middle and test their stand-up. It looks like both of them are content to wrestle.
There's UFC veteran Dave Heath in Josh's corner. We got to see him for just a second.
Third and final round.
And they both look good.
Yes, they do. They both look like their cardio is good. Oh, looks like a left hook from Josh. Jason dives in on the hips.
Nice. Josh throwing some good elbows.
Like throwing some good short shots in there. Good elbows. You know, when you're out far away, people are used to seeing punches and kicks, but when you're in close, it's the knees and elbows that does the damage.
And there with those little left-handed shots that Josh was throwing up under Jason's chest.
I see
Again,
that.
it's not even to hurt him so much as I think he's just grinding on him. He just doesn't want to give him a chance to get his thoughts together.
Oh, and does it get Josh down? And Josh gets right back up. He has his back.
Oh,
and
nice. Over the shoulder. And now I see Jason really gasp for breath. I think he's starting to feel it.
Looks like he's caught in that top crucifix position again. This can be a very damaging position.
I can definitely tell that Josh's efforts have frustrated Norwood. You can see frustration all over his face, along with some blood.
Yeah, it looks like now we're starting to see the damage on Norwood's face.
Norwood's breathing through his mouth now. He is definitely giving it everything he's got to try and get Josh off of him.
And he's still moving. He's still fighting. He's not giving up.
I don't know if give up is in Norwood's vocabulary.
Good
Josh with
elbows.
more short elbows. Looks like Jason's bleeding from his eye and his nose now. Josh sits out a little bit in the side. Maybe going to look for some strike. No.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to trap the arm again. I think at this point, Josh is wanting to make sure he stays on top and lands those strikes.
Now, Josh seemed like he was going to transition to north-south there for a second and gave it up at the last minute. Chooses to stay in the side and land some more shots. I almost feel like what you said earlier. Once Josh gets on top of you, it seems like he can pretty much do whatever he wants. Jason's really, really breathing hard now. Josh gets the knee on the abdomen, and he's probably going to get mount.
Goes for a nice slow full mount. It's like he's riding a low hit position, which is really designed a little for more control than it is offense, but he's making sure he's staying on top and he's holding Jason down on his back.
And he goes for the head and arm choke
he
again.
is.
At this point, though, Josh has spent so much riding time in a dominant position in this round. I'm not sure if Jason's going to be able to get back out of this again. I mean, he just seems like he's getting more and more tired.
Right at this point. And Norwood has to know at this point that he needs to finish the fight or he's going to lose his title. He has to know it at this point.
And it's not for a lack of effort. I mean, Norwood has definitely given it everything he's got from the bottom. But Josh is just sitting on him.
He's got a solid mount at this point, and with a minute and a half left in the fight, the fatigue is really settling in on a 3 to 5 minute round fight.
And it looks like Josh may have saved a little bit of offense in the middle of the round to turn it on now here at the end.
He is just
nice
controlling him.
And he's always doing 2 or 3 things at once. He's going to pin the arm. He's getting a better position. He's throwing shots.
And Jason is doing his best to try to shrink back, try to get his leg back around Josh, and Josh just controlling. Big slam right there, another slam, taking advantage of him holding on.
And again, more you think just to upset his breathing, just to frustrate him.
It's just constant. Since this fight has started, there has just been a constant barrage.
Oh, Jason goes out the back
still
door.
Bursting. And he's bursting. He's trying to get up. He's trying to get up.
Back to his knees. He's got 35 seconds left to try and do something.
He needs something
Oh,
and a burst, and he takes
nice
it down.
takedown.
Got 30 seconds. Can he do something with it? Because he's going to have to finish the fight at this point.
See Jason going for some shots now from half guard. He doesn't have enough time to ground and pound. He's going to have to go for submission here.
I agree. The short shots are not going to cut it at this point.
Jason has 10
But it
seconds to
looks
go
like he
for
might
something.
end up.
No.
And Josh comes out the side and reverses him. 5 seconds.
the story of the
big
fight.
shots, big shots.
Josh ends it with a huge
brutal
left
shots.
hook. Too little.
Good reversal there. There's the slams.
And again, as hard as Norwood's breathing at that point, those slams are just going to really knock the wind out of him. And here at the end, Josh takes the top again, and you can tell at this very last second, that last left hook.
Ladies and gentlemen, judges Nick Atwood and Jason Greenwalt scored the fight 30-27. Judge Jim Lambert scored the fight 30-26. For your winner by unanimous decision and new 185-pound champion, Josh the Beast Bryant! The new FCF 185-pound champion, Josh the Beast Bryant!
Known for his political and social commentary, comedian Dennis Miller will share his special brand of humor at Fire Lake Grand on Saturday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. For tickets, call 405-964-7777 or visit firelakegrand.com.